Join us every week for coaching and Q&A. You'll learn how to get more listings signed and sold following the simple and fun easy listing method. Plus, find hidden gem tips and get motivated as you surround yourself with like-minded peers in this weekly mastermind. Let's jump in.
Welcome, everybody. I hope everybody had a great 4th. Before we get started, let's go through some any good stuff, any bad stuff, anything that you want to reflect on real estate in your area other than prices dropping. I think we all can relate to that. Michelle, was it a slow 4th of July weekend for the homes listed on the site?
Oh, yeah.
Nothing happened?
Nothing.
Okay. And just so you guys know, I mean, that generally happens on the 4th. Usually the week before and the week after, just the dust has to settle, and then all of a sudden people start getting into it again. Yeah, I had a lot of agents ask whether they do open houses on 4th of July. I do not. I don't really like wasting my time doing them. And I kind of plan my listings around holidays. I try not to list them. Well, I don't try not. I don't list them during holidays, period. I'll start the week after to get it, because you remember those first 3 days, the hot sheet matters, because you guys are syndicating out to however many property sites your MLS is syndicating to. If you do that over a holiday, you're pretty much wasting that syndication period time on there. So that being said, though, so let's open up the floor. Any good news, any bad news, any other than our tenant dying? I think that's the only bad news I got. So, Gabe.
So I got a listing that's going live next Wednesday. We're putting it on the market. It's just a 30-day agreement. I told him we're going to do 7-day bidding events at a time. We are starting low. So the comps in the area, he wants to net at least 480. The comps in the area look pretty nice, pretty high. I mean, there's a few homes that are listed, around 480s, but they're not in the same community. And not as nice as his. He's got, the new flooring. Everything looks pretty clean. It looks, kind of updated. So we're gonna start. It's actually quite nice because I kind of start off whenever I was talking to him, because I did it through Zoom. That's how I got the listing, because he's in Chicago right now. And I basically just started off, like, what's your end game with the property? If you can't get what you want for it, where does that leave you? What are you going to do? What's your plan? So he said, he doesn't know. He'll probably just rent it out or whatever. So I told him, like, listen, if this doesn't work, you're in the same spot you are now. But with this psychology approach, this is going to, get you the most out of the home. So he actually wanted to start. He was willing to start as low as 400,000. But I think that would be a little too low based off of what's going on in the area. So I told him, you know what I mean? I wanted to start it at 425. And that's well below market value. So I think at 425, we'll have the best chance of, getting it bid up to 500,000.
Cool.
So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Fingers
You
crossed.
have the address?
Yeah, I got the address. It's 5814 Fairwoods Circle.
Say it again.
5814 Fairwoods Circle. Sarasota.
And Sarasota?
Yeah.
Is it Fairwoods with an S?
Yeah, with an S. It's right now on Zillow as for sale by owner. Yep.
Okay. That actually is pretty good for their views and saves.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Here we go again. Jiminy Christmas.
Is all of Florida for sale?
Exactly.
Yes. How many months of inventory does that neighborhood have?
We're about nine months worth of inventory.
And what are you going to lower it down to, Gabe?
You should do
Say it again.
400. 425 is probably not going to do it.
What are you lowering it to?
425.
So there's a 455 here. Let's see.
So the guy said that the owner, because I looked at the comps with him, I pulled him up, all online with him. He said it doesn't look like that inside at all. So I mean, I don't know if he's talking about just the furniture or the flooring, but might be a good idea to go and check it out.
So you'll be under that one. God, I cannot believe the inventory you guys have, like in a block radius of this place. It's crazy.
His is it's 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 2,000 square foot.
This is it right here, right?
Yep, yep.
So is that marble on the floor? Is that cement?
So it says porcelain tile in the previous listing that he had last year.
Is this an investor?
He's got a couple other properties. I mean, he's not a huge investor, but I think he does a little bit of flips. So he said he's got a couple other properties he's willing to try out on the platform, but obviously he wants to see if it works first.
True. Nice.
The pictures I think are kind of terrible because they don't show the space being open. You know, the one photo from the beginning, you know, it just looks like everything's compartmentalized, and people want a lot more open concept nowadays. So even the previous listing, I think the lady, she had like 70 photos in the MLS, but they were like all the same pictures, and they just didn't get they weren't good at capturing the space. So I think I'm going to be really strategic about the photos.
You might look into doing virtual staging too.
Okay.
Usually it's like $20 a photo, and that's it.
Right. Right.
One thing. And maybe I would do the living room, bedroom, dining. Or I mean, if you're close, I don't know if you have a stager or something, but
No, I don't, but they do. They had it available. The photo people have like that as an available option. So what do you guys think? You don't think 425 is a good price? You think 400 is a better price?
Yeah, you should be. I'm in Florida. I'm in Cape Coral. The neighborhood I'm in has about 8 months of inventory. If you do 20% below market value from what the house is worth, that'll give you enough attention where you can realistically get that price. But you have to be really low, especially when there's a lot of inventory, because buyers have options.
Right.
I mean, he says he wants 480, but realistically, if you get offers in, then again, that's kind of the point, true, right? Is to drive attention, drive traffic, and then drive offers. Even if you have 1 or 2 offers, then at least you have somewhere to negotiate from too. So that's the main goal. And again, advertising around it, getting as many people to that open house. I would definitely do a Facebook market listing
Okay.
where you put it on Facebook Marketplace and drive that conversation. You should be having a lot of messages from people. And when I get messages from people, hey, is this available? I just tell them my only response is the open house date.
Okay.
So Gabe, did you get the that report from Integrity?
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah,
What
the
is that
Fannie
saying
Mae
6
report.
months from now?
6 months. It's saying it's supposed to decline
By how much?
like a couple of percent. I can pull it up right here. I actually just had it up.
If for all you guys, take a look at this. Go ahead and share, Gabe.
Okay. So hold up. So there's the value that they're estimating right there, and then we go down. There's all the comps they pulled, but it shows you the estimate right here. So risk of decline, 41%. And then this is within the next year. Well, actually, nope. It's saying within the next year it's supposed to decline 0%. But where? But I just show them I just use it as another valuation tool. So I show them this right up here at the top.
Yeah.
So they're saying 471 on the low end and 528 on the high end.
And then scroll down where there was a 1 year risk.
It said 0% on the 1 year risk. But I mean, year over year right now in this area, we're down 13%.
Yeah, keep going down.
From last year in July. Right here.
Keep going.
The 3-year growth.
No, keep going down.
I think that was it.
Yeah, stop here. Stop.
And this is that it says HouseCanary, but what is
Yeah.
Here you go. The 1 year MSA 1 year risk of decline. Okay, it's just explaining what it is.
Yeah, where they got the information or disclosure.
Well, based on this report, you should be fine. You know, and the thing I like about it, even at the 5.25, that's a fair amount of views.
Right.
Yeah, you watch your views go up like crazy when you list it. And what buyer's premium we're using? 6?
Nope. So we're doing a hybrid method. So he's going to pay me 2%, and then we're going to do a 3% premium.
Beautiful.
2 will go to the buyer's agent, and then 1 will go to the platform. Is
Cool.
there a max platform fee? Like, is it? I thought, like at 1%, is it like a max of $5,000, or is it just 1% and there's a minimum?
1%.
So it's 1% flat across, but there's a minimum $1,500, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be interested to watch. We'll have to watch this one. So I think you got a price right at 4.25. And Mikhail, I get what you're saying about the 400, but based on everything that he's showing us here, I think that I don't think that's a bad estimation. Anybody else want to comment on it? The price, what they think?
I'd say the only exception is what's your average days on market?
And that report, it was saying like 84. So like
And
right around 90.
You've got 30 days, but maybe that's not stringent, just because it doesn't sell in 30 days. This guy isn't going to cut ties with you or anything. But I do think it's important to consider that your listing agreement is only that 30-day window.
Yeah. So before the 30 days is up, depending on, you know what I mean, what the market is telling us, the activity that we get on it, I'm going to try to tell him like, listen, your end game, you know what I mean? You said you're just going to keep the place. So, we've got another strategy we can try, drop it down another 25,000, and then give me another 30 days. And then obviously if it doesn't work, you're in the same spot you are now. And that's just what the market is telling us.
So make sure you're showing him the Zillow saves and like do a snapshot of it.
Right.
And then when you put it down to the price on the platform, then you've got something to compare it to. This is, how many buyers. So, I mean, that'll be good for the seller to see that live, right?
Yeah.
So I think you did a good job.
All right. I appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, that's great. Michael Nikolai. Michael is the only one I know that did a open house over the weekend. And Michael, you want to tell us what happened? Hello, Michael Nikolai.
Hey, there I am. Hi. Hey, I'm on my phone today because I'm actually going to be out the door here to a home inspection because I got a listing or not a buyer under contract. So anyway, this weekend I did have an open
for
house.
that home?
No, buyer.
A buyer for his home.
No, not for my home. It's for another thing, for an adult community. Anyway.
Very good.
Yes, it is very good. Okay, I did an open house today. It was abbreviated, only 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Didn't go any later because the seller needed to get his house back over the weekend. And I had a total of 10 people come through, or 10 buying groups, I should say. Again, I had 2 that were fairly interested, and I'll be following up today with them. I got 1 buyer out of it. So, they didn't like that house, but they liked me. So they said, okay, well, please help us find a home. So that'll be good. I'm waiting for 1 gentleman to call me back, and he's supposed to have, well, the purchase would be for his son. And he lives around the corner, so he's trying to talk his son into living close to him. They're coming from California. So I've got some high hopes on that one, but they've got to get the pre-qualification done today. Other than that, my traffic in my open house went from 26 to 16 to 10. So week 3, it just keeps going down. And I'm doing more Facebook marketplaces and sharing them out to groups and open house groups, and darn near my whole Facebook, people who are my friends. I still don't have.
Are you doing any reverse prospecting through the MLS?
Honestly, I don't know how.
Well, when you get some time, get me on your MLS and I'll show you.
Okay.
Because this is where these numbers, you guys, come in handy. Good chance if they're saving them here, they've saved them somewhere else on the MLS website as well, especially for the agents that have a good active MLS. So last week, Michael, you were at 3,500 people and 350 saves, right?
Yeah, and I think I'm up to 5.
You're up to 6,700. Everybody can see my screen, right?
Yeah, look at that. That's crazy, huh? It's wonderful.
And the reason why, when you start getting into the 500 on saves, that's a good time to go back and do some reverse. Does everybody know what reverse prospecting is?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a good topic Thursday.
Yes, it does.
I do not know.
Yeah, thank you. That'd be great.
I know. It's where you
Anyway, reverse prospecting, anybody that has saved something that's pretty much the same type home or did their own search and then it has a plugged in a save, regardless if an agent has done a lookup in that area, they'll pop up in your reverse prospecting file. And then what we always do is we'll send them out emails and give them like the highlight of the home and give them the views and the saves. It's priced right. It's just a matter of days before it sells. Because I mean, if we go back in through your area again, and it just freaking blows me away. All these listings around here.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, all the listings around are 2 and 3 bedroom homes that are a little bit smaller, and they're in the 400s. And since they're in the 400s, I've got it listed at 350. That's probably why I'm getting, the responses that I'm getting.
Let's do this here. Let's look at the sold.
Michael, can I ask a clarifying question while Robert's looking that up?
Yes.
Did you say you've had 3 open houses and it was 21, 16, and 10?
26, 16, and 10. Yeah. That's what I've had.
Of like buyer groups seeing the house during that week or attending the Saturday open house? Or both?
Attending the Saturday open house. You can add probably between 3 and 5 showings during the week because it's tough to get in there and there's no lockbox. They've got dogs and people and who knows what else.
Okay.
That would make it tough.
Are you getting feedback on the house? Like, I like the house, but I would make an offer, but?
Yes. And honestly, those I like the house buts are more, excuse my language, kind of just excuses. Because, it's like once a bunch of people do not like the fact that some of the walls are painted accent colors. There's a blue, there's a green, that kind of thing.
Now, wait, do you say, well, hey, it's priced where a $5K paint job makes that a non-issue, or, we'll work into the deal, we'll paint it for you at close or whatever, we'll figure that out, we'll paint it for you.
Yeah, yes, I have.
Okay, so you go through that, good.
And they simply say, well, we'll get back with you. I've had a few people, the agents get back with me and say, I just don't understand the process. So I say, okay, well, let's go through it again and I'll try to make it as simple as I possibly can. Or, there's a person up there by the name of Michelle and she's fabulous and she can help explain this. She's been doing this for almost 10 years or a little more, maybe. I don't know. It's been around a long time. And they said, okay, well, we'll check it out.
How many total people said I don't like the paint? How many people said I don't understand what this process is all about?
I'd say 10 on the paint and 5 on the process. The rest of them, it's just, they don't like being on a golf course because they've got big dogs and they don't want to have to build a fence back there because it's got a view fence on it right now. And so,
that's
it's
weird.
just,
why would you build the house in the first place if you know you got dogs with a low fence and you can see it's on the golf course with a low fence? Why would you go?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. It makes no sense to me.
Well, what about
there's people that show up that are, huh?
Well, I was going to say, what about of the 10 people, if the house was painted the right way, like not the blue and pastel, so where that was a non-issue from the start, not something that you had to fix after the fact, but you painted it 2 months ago and it was like perfect paint. Say that was done. Say the other 5 people, when they asked the question, how does the process work? And you hit them right between the eyes with the perfect answer in like 30 seconds. And they're like, oh, okay, I get that. That makes sense. On the spot, at the question, what would happen then? What do you think out of the 15 people that in this goofy hypothetical that I'm asking you to reach deep into? But would that have brought a +1 buyer? Would that have, because I've noticed, how do you have 52 people in the house, 3 open houses, people like it, and no bids?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking.
And you're 15. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. It's probably me. It's probably me and my inadequacy for explaining the process.
No, whoa. We're getting out of kilter here, Greg.
Go for it. Yeah.
First of all, there's 500 homes within a block of his house for sale.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. Buyers can go check out. They're going to go look at every last home before they start making offers, unless they absolutely fall in love with the home. Yeah. He hasn't had anybody fall in love with the home. What he does have is a lot of people looking at it and a lot of people saving it that are watching it.
Interesting.
Out of there. So it's not necessarily that the decline of buyers, of course. I'm surprised you had that many on a July 4th weekend, to be honest with you. But, Michael, the best thing, if you're struggling to answer them, send them off to us. Hey, I don't have time to talk to you right now. Call the 800 number. Let them help you.
Okay.
We're here to help you guys. If you feel like that's any part of the 5 down there, by all means, let us help them, because maybe we make a better case, or especially with the NER thing. It's funny, in Seattle, we haven't come across with anybody that thinks it's goofy. They think it's because of the NER settlement the site was built.
In a worst case scenario, if they cannot wrap their head around it for whatever reason, or just are not willing to, just say, hey, send me a regular offer. I'll fix it. I'll make it so that we can be on the platform. Don't let that be a deterrent. But I would say, if you're a buyer's agent, if you have a buyer that is in love with the house, you're going to find a way to do it. It just sounds like maybe a lot of the buyers like the house because it has a lot of, when someone's walking, I always figure out when I'm a buyer and I'm walking into a house, if there are things that are emotionally striking me right away, being like, oh my God, look at that. I love that. Oh my God, look at that. I love that. That adds to my emotional level and interest. If I'm walking into a house, it's a nice house, but then I'm like, oh gosh, the smell. Oh gosh, this paint. Okay, you know what I mean? So you're negatively retracting. Then people aren't going to be as emotionally tied to it, so they're not going to be as invested. So it's just you're going to have to work that much harder to sell it, just because, again, it's not giving that emotional appeal because of certain negative aspects. And if the seller's not willing to fix those, then again, you just have to be honest with them and be like, look, and tell them from that perspective, look, people are walking in, they're seeing this house from the street and being like, this is great. It's a great neighborhood. And then they're walking in and they're hit with A, B, C, D, E as a detraction. How can we address these or not? if they're not willing to, then just be like, okay, then each time we need to address this, it needs to be a price reduction.
I got a question for you, Joy. That was good. I'm glad somebody's got a brain in their head today because I don't.
Yeah.
How many? So the other question is, Michael, did you anticipate the paint being off?
Do I what now?
Did you anticipate the paint colors being a problem?
Well, okay, they're pretty bold, so they're going to take a couple coats of paint, but no, it's just cosmetic stuff. You know, one of the other things was there's some dogs in there, so you know, last week we went and poofed everything, and you know, got some candles in there so it smells good, and making some chocolate chip cookies and the whole bit. So, you know, the odor.
Has that the home been hard to see outside of your houses?
What do you mean?
Are the sellers cooperating? Like they'll leave in 5 minutes if someone wants to see the home?
Yeah, because they've got to wrangle 2 dogs. They need to stay on site when I'm not there.
Oh.
Because they're moving the dogs around so that everybody can see everything in the backyard.
So has that precluded some people looking at it, not looking at it?
Haven't had any problems with that. You know, everybody who's wanted to go and take a look at the property, we've always figured out how to get them in there to look.
Now, let me ask you this. Being that you know you got some resistance, some things need to be done to the house, right?
Yeah.
What if you were to bump the buyer's premium up another 3% and tell them that you are doing that so that they can paint the house and put it into the cost of the home? Or maybe your seller, knowing that he doesn't have to pay for it, will go ahead and have it done. You know, kind of messing around with the buyer's premium to help sell it. Like Michael Graham did with his $65,000 solar system.
This is a great idea. This is the right answer, in my opinion. It's part of the right answer for sure.
Okay, that's brilliant.
These are all the things you got to be thinking of and knowing what the buyer's premium can do to help you sell a home in this buyer's market. Especially, like I say, I've never seen competition like yours in Florida's. In my life as a real estate agent, I have never seen that many homes for sale around every stinking listing that goes up. I mean, because that's a lot of homes within a block of the house.
Well, it's still not like it was in 08 and 09. But yeah, no, I get your point. And you know, I'm just wondering, you know, how long is this going to last? Because it's, you know, the market is not the same as it was back in 8 and 9. And this just seems to be a reaction to, you know, the general economy that's going on here in the United States and people just not knowing what's going on. So, you know, this can't last forever.
I mean, no, it can't. But
once the interest rates start coming down, it'll subside for all of us.
But in the meantime, I think we as real estate agents have to kind of, you know, again, try and deal with the, you know, the hand we're dealt, but in order to fix what we can get fixed. So that's always my suggestion. It's like, if you're having the same recurring negatives about the house, you just have to say, okay, here's our negative. How do we address it? And you know, the seller, if we want to sell the house, we have to address it somehow. So, okay, it looks like paint is a big issue. How do we address it? And let them answer. Can we talk about getting a painter in here? Can we talk about, I mean, they have to see the reality of the situation and realize, look, okay, especially in that kind of competition, it's just, your house has to shine. It has to, again, have that emotional appeal. And I mean, you liken it to like a dating app. If no one's swiping right, you need to glow up.
Yeah.
You need to go get a haircut. You need to do something.
Very true. I would say you might have the solution here just from this conversation. What I'm hearing is this. You got 50 butts in the seat. In these days, that's pretty good. I take that as a W. Like, I know we're not getting 100 anymore, But to me, I think 50 is a win for sure. What I would also say is you have people with interest that have also told you their objection. So you already know the problem. Paint the thing, explain the thing, both of which are fixable. I would claim out of 15 people, if you could go to them right now, call them all back and say, hey, I'm gonna have this thing painted. What color do you want it? And we'll take care of it. Or just handle that objection however you do. Figure that out. Whether it's buyer premium or the seller does it, but figure that out. That takes care of 10 people. And then I would get the other list of 5 dudes, 5 realtors who are confused, the confused list. And I would do a 3-way call with Michelle. And out of 15, you may find your one.
Definitely, we got to get on the reverse prospecting. That's probably your best source of because these are people that have buyers looking at that property.
Okay.
So when you get back, set up an appointment so I can show you how to do that.
Okay. All
So,
right.
every MLS can do it, but hey, the good news is again, I mean, you doubled your looks and saves. I didn't think it would be that strong. I mean, that's another positive thing. Definitely to show your seller that it's working. And I might consider running it up another 2-3% to cover that painting of those rooms because you're getting resistance on it. And then all of a sudden we have a way to take care of it for them.
That's a really good idea. And then I will call everybody. I don't know. No, I'm moving on to something else. I'll just call them all. Say, hey, we're gonna, include 3% in here to, take care of any of the issues in the house. And do you have any other questions? Can we get answered? And then I'll just let Michelle know that I'm going to bombard her with phone calls. Hey,
We'll plan some
I'm
time,
bombarding you
Mike.
with phone calls. Huh?
We'll plan some time. Let me know. I'll be here for
All
you.
right. So everybody, I'm going to start asking some questions now. And why doesn't everybody give me some feedback? In fact, Mikhail, I'm going to start with you. Are you still there, Mikhail? Marty's on the phone. Kenneth Collins, you still around?
Yes, I am.
All right. So what do you think the biggest factor of this buyer's market? What do you think the biggest factor is? And just give me one answer, and then I'm going to go around the horn and get it from everybody.
The biggest factor in creating the large inventory of homes, that's on the market is just an example of looking at what you saw in Florida. That's kind of being replicated in several places.
Are you finding that in SoCal as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Number one. Normalina, what's another factor that would help homes start selling again?
You said that would help home selling again?
Yeah.
I thought what the deterrent was. The deterrent I've been hearing is people are saying they don't want to go through having to deal with bidding. That's been my feed.
No, in irregular real estate, what would help people start selling homes again?
Oh, price reductions. For sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Oh, I thought I misunderstood the question. I thought you were asking what are some of the deterrents or what's causing the market to.
That's huge. That's actually a great answer.
Okay.
Frank Macri.
Hello.
Good morning.
I believe that accurate pricing out the gate. You got to really crunch those numbers and then have it, and depending on the condition, price accordingly.
Great answer. Brad Coyne.
On another call. Hang on.
Terry's iPhone.
I say interest rates. Just even a slight drop in interest rates will kind of bring out buyers.
Terry's a stud. Okay. Thank you, Terry. That's right. Naomi.
I think pricing it right and also the rates. It just have to be very attractive for folks to move on it.
Okay. John King.
I would say the same thing. It always is pricing it right. And the interest rate right now, you think about, you're looking at a buyer with the average, I'm in California, average monthly payment is running you 3,500 and up. So that's just a doggone payment. That ain't got nothing to do with the rest of the cost of living in that doggone house. So that have a lot to do with it when you talk about 3,500. Plus, you put another $3,000 on the top of it for house, for grocery, food, and insurance, and all the incidentals. So that is where it at right now.
Very
So
good. Good
if
answer.
that's where we at right now. So, only thing I'm doing is right now, with everything going on, is pounding the streets now.
Yeah, we're gonna get to. There's gonna be a method to the madness. Trust me, here in a couple seconds.
Yes,
Erica,
okay.
If I could add, I saw something today that lab coat agents had priced. They had a map of the United States, and they were saying how long it takes a buyer to save up for a home. And in areas like Hawaii, it had 28 years it takes them to save up to be able to afford a home. Like I'm in Colorado, it says it takes 5 years for a buyer to be able to save enough for a down payment. So I'm thinking even maybe pushing down payment assistance programs, but those interest rates come at a higher cost. So it's like give and take, but it's right now the payments, the monthly payments for buyers at entry level are 3,000. That's really high.
All right. So what I'm pretty much hearing, does everybody agree that sounds like interest rates are the most important thing?
Agreed.
Well, with the
Yep.
rising cost of homes, the cost of the homes, when I bought my house, I bought my house at 130,000, but my same house in my neighborhood is 600,000. And so you add the rising cost of homes plus the interest rate. When I bought my home, my interest rate was 7%. So it's not that the interest rates are that high, but you add that to the cost of, just the base price of the home, just with the PI, it's unaffordable.
Well,
Insurance.
let me ask you this, Terry. When people are buying homes, what's the biggest factor that they have?
Well, buyers, they're coming off of rent, so they calculate it based off of the payments.
Payment. And that has to do with interest rate, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're back to interest rates. How in the heck can we help our buyers lower that interest rate? Greg. Of course, you got the answer.
I got a whole plan, a whole mind map. I got this unlocked, baby.
Well,
Of course you do.
What's that? So, go ahead, Greg.
Oh, you want me to break it down? You want me to go through it? Okay. Wow. I didn't think I was going to go through it, but let's see what we got. I don't think I need to share my screen because that'll take forever, but I will. And I also don't know if this is entirely accurate because I'm not a lender or an MLO. And so I'm kind of still figuring out if the rules make some sense. But there's affordability is the problem. I heard a guy say you buy the payment, not the price. And I was like, that's kind of interesting. That makes some sense to whoever was talking a couple minutes ago. Before Robert, it's a payment issue, right? If they're qualified for a house of X dollars, they're just qualified. They're of that. There's nothing you can do about that. The MLO says, hey, you can go buy a house for X. Cool. And now it's cash flow. And that's they're going to go max out. If you're qualified for 500, people want a $500,000 house. They typically don't go get a 250 house if they're qualified for 5. So they max out their stuff often. What I said is okay, it's the PITI that's too expensive. And then I broke down the P and the I and the T and the I. And I said, what is the way that we can think about each and maybe try to reduce and or offset some of that? So I thought, all right, here's what we do. We leverage the buyer's premium at a 10% number. We get 1% to the easy platform, 1% to me or whoever originates this deal. Sorry, 0.5% for deal origination. maybe 2% to the buyer's agent and 2% for the listing agent. I'm not really sure. You know, you're trying to turn a 0 into a +1, and so you should get paid more, not less. But what I'm trying to do is kind of solve a different problem. And that problem is hey, this dude can't afford the house. So if the dude can't afford the house, everybody makes 0. So let's get the dude to afford the house, and then everybody makes something. So that leaves on a 10% buyer's premium, 4.5 points left. That's a lot of money. So if a 2-1 buy down on a $500,000 house, for example, is 2%, that's 10 grand. So if the 4.5% buyer's premium times 500K produces $22,500 of money we can do something with, the first thing I would do is spend 10 grand on 2-1 buy down or something like that. Whatever an intelligent lender says is the smart thing to do to drop the interest rate. And that would be my number one thing. Number two, then I go to the PITI. The P you don't touch because it's principal. In fact, we're leveraging principal to attack the ITI. So P we leave alone because that's what we're using. I, interest, we attack with a 2-1 buy down, plenty of money to do it. T, now you could prepay your taxes, right? You could prepay your taxes for a year or 2 or 3 or 4. The government will let you do that. But there's no leverage in that. It's dollar for dollar. You do not get a discount. If you owe $5K in taxes in a year and you send them $5K, it's $5K. But it's an option. You could still prepay taxes as much as you want. But the I looked up the I, and in I's, it's not a big delta. But if you prepay rather than a monthly amount for insurance, and this goes for all insurance, car insurance, whatever insurance. I used to be in insurance, life insurance. Life insurance, it can be a little different. But for insurance, if you prepay, and if you prepay a lot in advance, sometimes you can get, and I saw in some cases in homeowners insurance, and I don't know if this is correct, but ChatGPT said about 10 to 15%. If you buy 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 years in advance. So then you get another double whammy, just like the interest rate. You get the discount, which is good. Well, no, you get a double whammy, on this side. You get the discount, which you want, but you also get the actual offsetting of the bill itself for the number of years. And so really when you got $22,500 minus 10 grand for the 2-1 buy down, you got $12,500 to go pay some shit off. You could throw it maybe I don't know what else you can do with it. I don't know other options, but you could definitely prepay your insurance. And if you want to throw some money at taxes too, and prepay that off, pay that in advance, you really can help a person make year 1 palatable. And I think with my math that I did, like on an average deal, it was like $1,100. I think it was $1,100. Where was it? I think it was $1,142 a month that I was able to offset with a buyer premium on a typical $500,000 house. And it was like 13 grand a year or 12 some a year. So that's something. $1,100 a month.
Yeah. And these are the things, you guys, by having a buyer's premium that nobody else does. Yeah, I mean, when you start doing creative things like that to help buyers out, Michael Nikolai, you think it might be a little easier to explain to agents about why we're using a buyer's premium? Okay, must be gone. Yeah, I'll answer for him. Heck yeah.
Hey, okay, so yeah, I just got to figure out how to use my phone. But yeah, no, that I think would solve a lot of problems. So, it's just simply an explanation of how it works, and we got to get, the information from their lender so that we can figure out how to leverage that to the biggest advantage.
For all you struggling with talking to agents, first of all, our customer service is better than anybody else's out there. It's not AI. I think we actually pick up the phone still. It's amazing. We're just one of those companies that do that. But the second thing is, it's always about what's in it for the buyer, what's in it for the buyer's agent. And I am telling you, mark my words, by the end of the year, sellers will not be able to pay buyers' commissions. And that's even going to put us into a stronger position with everything. You got to utilize the stuff that God's given you to use with this site. The what we've learned over the last 5 years is using the buyer's premium as a tool to get people into homes. Yeah, I remember people started thinking, well, it's always a 6% buyer's premium. Well, we know that's not always what it is, right? We got to be smart in this economy, because if I can get an agent enough money to buy down a couple points, I mean, we're talking about a $5,000 mortgage being half. Wouldn't that fix a lot of people's problems with getting into a home?
Yes, it would, especially with some of the other things Greg was talking about. It would be amazing.
If I may, let me add one more detail, because this, again, I've been working on this, and it's just like such a powerful tool. I asked ChatGPT, if a buyer gets a 400K loan, in this example, for whatever reason, and wants to do a 2-1 buy down, can it be funded in the loan, meaning rolled into the loan? GPT says no, the 2-1 buy down cannot be rolled into the loan itself. It must be prepaid up front. At closing is a prepaid fee, usually a seller concession, blah, blah, blah. So then I said, can we use a buyer premium to pay for it? Yes, you can use a buyer premium to fund a 2-1 buy down, but it must be structured properly. Here's how. Blah, 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 blah. I don't need to read all this stuff. But again, it's just like another superpower. It's like, wow, you could do whatever with buyer's premium. It's just like, just don't do fraud and illegal stuff. And then it's fine.
What's the rule on a buyer's premium, everybody? It cannot exceed the value of the home, right?
Yeah, that's right. And don't break the rules. Those are two things. If it kills the sale, you're breaking the rule. And then if you're breaking the law, then obviously that's it. Everything else, it's a wild, wild west tool.
Well, and everybody's walking in this market expecting concessions, that they expect the seller's going to make concessions. And what's the point of concessions? Well, at the price point you're asking for, rather than reduce your price, here's some sort of exchange of value that you're going to concede that'll get me to the number and make this deal make sense. So when you're facing buyers that are marching in there expecting we're going to put in an offer low, we're going to ask for concessions, well, with the buyer's premium, you've already gotten that taken care of. With the advantage of, certain loan types that would cap concessions, you don't run into that issue when the buyer premium is part of the purchase sale agreement price.
Ooh, that's a mouthful right there. I like that. Everybody should like that. Oh my God. Your brains ought to be running wild right now.
It's just preemptive objection handling.
For all of you smart people. Way to go, Kat. She amazes me every week. So, anyway, so we're bucking up against the hour. Does anybody else have anything they want to say about the buyer's premium? Are you starting to get how you can manipulate it and help our buyer friends out there?
Just know that I'm very thankful for the brain trust that everybody has got here. I love this group.
I'll second that, buddy.
100%. 100%. Best mastermind are going.
Yeah, we're going to get bigger and stronger, everybody. Just hang in there. Appreciate everybody. Hope everybody had a wonderful 4th. It's kind of nice getting back into the swing of things again. But if you guys are struggling, don't forget to call us. We're all here to help you. We as a group, even before we do the groups with this group, believe it or not, we sit around trying to figure out how to make this better for you.
I'm gonna call you, Robert.
Anytime. You guys are more than welcome to, and appreciate everybody. And that being said, so anybody else have anything they want to say in closing? All right. Have a blessed week. We'll see you guys on Thursday, if not sooner. For all of you that Wednesday, we're back on track for the master training. And they're looking forward to getting that back going again and picking up some new agents and watch us grow. So have a great week, everybody, and hopefully talk to you soon.
Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Good class.